Go.
Hello, welcome back. We're here again. The boys are back in town, and we've got all five of us this time. Mo, who was going to be with us last time, unfortunately wasn't able to make it, but he's here in all his glory. So, Mo, how are you, my man?
I'm good, man. Thanks, guys. Sorry about last week, but yeah, we're here. Here's the thing.
We are here indeed. And Sam, how are you, mate?
I am GI double DY for today. I am loving it. So giddy. I can't wait. Pleasure to be here as always.
Sani, reckon that bucket hat up there, the Budweiser bucket hat. Jeez, it's special. The drip is special.
Listen, I don't know. I've got a shirt underneath this. I've got my, I don't know how you say this brand, but it's Mizuki, Zoku, Woku, whatever you want to call it, with the Sherpa. I don't know what I'm wearing for. It's a cowboy hat with Budweiser on it, even though England drew, but we'll get into that later. But we're here. We're here. And I mean, obviously, you're going to go on to Zeke next, but I'm just slobbering at his shirt, to be honest. So get on straight away.
I actually have a Mizuki hoodie as well. Great brand, man. Great brand.
Yeah.
Zeke, how are you doing, man? That fantastic Ronaldinho shirt over there.
I'm
It's
all right.
glorious.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only yellow and green one that isn't Norwich in my.
What a comparison, Norwich and Brazil. Who would have
Yeah,
thought?
I mean, they're basically the same, aren't they? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you? Because you're not really very well, are you?
Surviving. I'm trying my hardest not to cough, and I'm literally choking at the same time. So we'll power through. We'll power through. But hell of a match day so far through match day two. We've had some shocking results, some shocking performances. We'll just sort of scuttle through them first. We got Iran versus Wales. Now this was an interesting one. We talked about Enter the Dragon last time out. The Dragon did not turn up whatsoever. Instead, Wayne Hennessy's boot turned up into someone's cranium. I mean, Sam, I'll start with you. I mean, just talk us through the madness that went on there, because he tried to actually contest that wasn't a red, which baffles me
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, it was a good battle up until that point. To be fair, that was probably the highlight from a battle perspective. But yeah, I think that red card, like it does in most games, changed the game. And from that point, it was always going to be an uphill battle. I can't remember if Iran had hit the post a couple of times before or after, but the threat was always there throughout the 90 minutes from Iran. Once that red card happened, then it was, as I say, it was an uphill battle. And I thought Wales were good enough to take something from that match up until the red card, but yeah, as I say, red cards change games, and I think Iran more than justified the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking quite much of a slippery slope at this point for Wales. I mean, Mo, will come to you next. Where do you think Wales go from here? Do you think this is their dream is over? Do you think their journey is over? It's going to be one sort of last hurrah before an inevitable exit, or do you think they can brawl something out against England?
No, I don't think they're going to do it against England, man. I think they had their chance against Iran, to be honest. They fumbled the bag late on. No composure there from the keeper. I think it's over for Wales. The dream's over. I quite like this Wales team actually, but I don't think they have the quality to beat England. I don't think maybe they could get a point, but I doubt it. England are going to try to finish the group comfortably with confidence going into the next round. So I don't think Wales have a chance here. Dream over.
Yeah, it sounds like it, definitely. I mean, Sani, we'll come to you next. What was your take on the whole situation with their performance through this game, and just in general thus far through the two games that we've seen them?
I mean, before even getting on to that, I mean, Mo's just got rid of all of our Welsh subscribers because they've heard that and they've just thought, forget this, what's going on
Sorry,
here?
lads.
But you know what? That performance, we were all gassing up Wales like, oh, they're going to win. You know, they're going to end up going into that final game against England with a good chance of progressing. But I don't know what happened. Iran were all over them, to be honest. And Wayne Hennessy thought it was Mortal Kombat when he took out their play. It was like, finish him, right? I was like, what are you doing? Like, you're literally coming out of nowhere, taking him out. It was like Schumacher. I can't remember what World Cup it was. It was a Euros where he took out a French player and he literally knocked him out. It might have been 84, to be fair, in the Euros. But anyway, he took him out. 10 men. I thought, fine, if you can get a draw in this game, there's a chance you might progress. But two daggers at the end from Iran, and they were well worth their victory. And they're going to their final game against USA in what could be an absolute humdinger. So fair play to Iran. Commiserations to Wales. I'm going to jump on Mo's bandwagon as well and say that Wales are out now. I can't see them beating us. So, yeah, they were here after, 60-odd years? I think it might be another 60 years before they're here again, to be honest. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Zeke, Sonny kind of alludes to it there. It's almost like the end of an era for this Wales team, isn't it? You know, with the likes of Bale, Ramsey, and Co in there. And it doesn't look like the next crop is of the same sort of promise that they've just had. Do you think that this is pretty much it for Wales at major tournaments now for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of it with them is that if like you get Bale turning up, then they are normally okay. But if he's not there, then they don't have anything else. And he hasn't been very good at all. I don't think he's been off it. But he is now old. He's not really at his sort of best, which is obvious. And then they've not really got much else, and most of their team are sort of England rejects anyway. I mean, so it's not like they've really got much to really look forward to later on. I don't think there's many young players really that are there ready to knock on the door. But yeah, I think this is going to be one step too far, really. I don't think they'll get anything out of our match. They may get a draw, but I really don't think that it would be any more than that.
Yeah, I've got to no one seems to have faith in Kiefer Moore, man. Big slabhead sort of jumping, getting onto the knocking crosses and stuff like that. Come on, man. Where's the faith in Kiefer Moore? We need more strikers like that back in Europe, man. We miss those big boys that can just knock him in from crosses all over the gaff. But yeah, I mean, speaking of sort of progression from England's group, Netherlands and Ecuador are currently neck and neck on points. Sani, I'll start with you. Do you think that's a good situation for England? I mean, do you have a preference out of Ecuador and Netherlands who you'd rather face, given what you've seen in them thus far?
I'd probably take Ecuador only because Netherlands have that bit of spark in their team. I mean, Cody Gakpo is having absolutely insane tournament. I mean, if we're being real, there's always one player that normally comes out of these World Cups that, with their stock really high. I mean, 2014, we can look no further than James Rodriguez came out, absolute amazing tournament, got his move to Real Madrid. I'm not saying Gakpo is definitely going to get a move in January. It'll probably be maybe in the summer, but listen, he's on fire. I wouldn't want to face him. I think with Ecuador, they're good. They're tidy on the ball, but I don't really see a major threat for us. So I think that's a good result for the Netherlands because they have Qatar in their final game. And I think they'll pump Qatar. So that'll be beneficial to their goal difference. So I have a feeling we're probably going to face Ecuador or Senegal, which obviously in the final game, which we'll get onto later in the show. But yeah, I think I'd take Ecuador personally. I don't really want Holland this early in the World Cup.
Zeke, Ecuador, Netherlands, who you thinking is the sort of easier foe for Southgate's England?
Yeah, I would agree with Ecuador as well, but it's hard to really write them off as well because I think no one was really expecting anything, and they have actually been all right. And yeah, so if you're looking at the Netherlands, they've not quite hit their stride yet. So I would be a little bit wary of that because it might actually happen, and then they are really good. But no one really knows how sort of good they actually are. It's just this idea that they might be good and they will be good later on, but they've not really proved it yet. So I think I would have Ecuador, but just.
Sam, Ecuador, Netherlands, possibly Senegal as well. We keep forgetting to mention Senegal. How are those?
Yeah, that's true. Funnily enough, I was going to bring up Senegal, so thanks for stealing my thunder. But yeah, they've obviously are in with a chance, but it is obviously looking like the top two, as we've said. I think, as has already been said, both sides provide different problems, but equally problems for England. But I'm not massively worried, to be fair. I think I would take either of them. Obviously, as I've already said, both sides have their own risks. But I think there's one man who has just reached 50 caps, who has a forehead more prominent than mine, and that is the OG slabhead. It is Harry Maguire, who put in an absolute world of a performance in the game we've just gone. Carry that form through, and he's lifting the World Cup. That's all I'm saying. Early days, but yeah, I think we'll be all right with either, to be fair. But obviously, I think the Netherlands have got the more star power.
Yeah, especially. I mean, Mo, you echoing the same sentiments of confidence from the rest of the squad?
Yeah, I agree with Mo. I don't think Netherlands is the best squad in in the whole World Cup, but they're a good side. Like you said, they could hit form at any time. So I wouldn't want to play them. I prefer Senegal or yeah.
Yeah, all fair shouts, all absolutely fair shouts. I mean, speaking of England, let's not delay the inevitable any further. A rough performance, to say the least, against the United States. Quite a negative performance in general, to be honest. A lot of players that are getting singled out inside the press and all over social media. I mean, Mo, I'll start with you. I mean, what was your biggest takeaway from that game against the States?
Honestly, it's a bit generic, but it's going to be like everybody else. Mason Mount, the midfielder for England. To be honest, he didn't have a bad game, as in he didn't cost England, but he wasn't good enough going forward. He didn't really link up play good on the left or the right. I really just don't understand how Phil Foden doesn't come in at least 70 minutes or something, let him play a bit. Or if it's not going to be Phil Foden, somebody else at least. If you're going to bring on Jordan Henderson as well, I mean, I'm not sure how you're expecting to beat anybody with that midfield, yeah. But same as everybody else, I got the generic shout. Mason Mount should have been that 11, man.
Yeah, Mason Mount seems to be catching a lot of strays all over the place. I mean, Sani, he mentioned there Jordan Henderson, and I have seen reports from, I believe it was Sky, that Jude Bellingham will drop out of the lineup for the final group game against. I've lost my track there. But he will drop out the final group game. What do you think of that possible report that Bellingham will be removed from the starting 11 in favour of Jordan Henderson?
Listen, if you're a Liverpool fan, you're probably going to reload that Eddie Hearn meme when he's like, when people like that say things like that, that gives me a in hard on. Literally, right? For me, right, if you're a Liverpool fan, fine, you're going to get happy. But for me personally, you have to play your best team. I get it, right? You've got one eye on the next stage and you're looking at maybe who you're going to face in the last 16 and rest your young players, etc. You don't want to get them leggy, etc. But listen, of course, there's a very good chance we progress to the next round, but it's not for certain. And I think against Wales, you're going to have more of the ball. Do you really want Henderson there, who is a bit more pedantic? I personally wouldn't. You want someone who can, drive with the ball a bit, and Bellingham offers that. So, again, not for me. I wouldn't personally go with it, but the thing with Southgate is you can't really doubt him because, I mean, I know, Mo mentioned Foden and Mount. But the problem is as well, I think Southgate has a plan and we have to kind of accept it that, listen, he just has a certain way of playing. We drew to Scotland in the Euros 0-0. We got out of that group. We made it really far. You just got to trust the process sometimes. Yeah, we want to see Foden, but sometimes it just doesn't work in the system. And, we're all crying out for Foden, etc. But will it happen? I don't think so. Who knows? It's funny. You might just play him against Wales, but realistically, it's going to be quite a, pedantic, pragmatic approach. And as long as we get the win, I guess we're on to the next round. So, yeah.
Zeke, he's not keen on that Jordan Henderson inclusion. What about yourself? You feeling that's a problem? I mean, considering how pedestrian the performance was against the United States, and especially the lack of pressure on the US when they were on the ball in particular, that's one of the biggest notes that I took away from that game. The pressure was horrendous in terms of actually putting them under pressure when they had the ball. Do you think Henderson is the answer to that?
I don't think he is the answer, but I'm not. I don't mind him coming in, if he has to, because it's not a massive match. And I think we will need players like Bellingham later on, and it doesn't matter as much now. And obviously, Henderson's always got that leadership, calms it all down a bit. But yeah, he does make it a little bit slow. I mean, we haven't got many other options, really, do we? So I'm not. Yeah, I don't really.
It's that Calvin Phillips, isn't it? And Calvin Phillips has barely kicked the ball this season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if he was around it and he had actually been playing lots of matches, then yeah, I would obviously have him in there. But if you've got no one else, and I feel like we're going to need to rotate a little bit, then yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's a fair shout. I mean, Sam, just to sort of finish off that bit about Henderson, what are your thoughts on rotating and sort of rolling Henderson out for that game against Wales. Do you think they should still go, all out for it, or happy to sort of just take what comes?
I think nothing's for certain. Same as what Sani said. You can't go into this game thinking you've already won it. You're not definitely through, and I think that there's always a risk. With that being said, I know Southgate got a lot of flack for bringing on Henderson. We were, as you've said yourself, we weren't pressing, but we also were losing that midfield battle a lot. So I didn't think it was the worst thing in the world. Equally, I would have liked to have seen Foden come on and sort of work his magic. I said last week, even though I'm wearing a Mason Mount shirt, and I will not be tolerating any Mason Mount slander. But I'm really surprised we haven't seen more Foden this tournament. So if I was to make any changes, I think that would be one of them. And I just think you've got to be careful. I think that's it. I think everything that could be said has already been said. I just think that we need to be careful.
Yeah, that's fair shout. I mean, another report that came out I did see was Kyle Walker also stepping in for Kieran Trippier. Questions around his fitness, of course, coming into the tournament. Sonny, what do you reckon of those reports? Is something you'd like to see with him not being maybe completely fully fit, match-wise at least anyway?
It's 50-50 because, again, yeah, he's not match fit and you don't really want to break up the rhythm. But then again, if you look, if we're planning on a deep run in this World Cup, Kyle Walker's going to have to be a big part of that because I can't see us playing 4 at the back against, let's say, the French in the last day. I just can't see it. We'll get torn to shreds. We'll have to play a 3-back. And the only way you can play a 3-back is if Kyle Walker's fit. And if he's not fit and he hasn't been match fit, then it's going to be really hard. So it might be the case. Let's say if we're beating Wales 2-0, just bring on Kyle Walker for about 30 minutes or so, give him a bit of a run out, and then let's assess him for the last 16. But Trippier, I rate Trippier. I think Trippier is a quality right back. He hasn't done anything wrong. So it'd be harsh if Trippier was out of that game. But again, I can see why you'd want to play Walker. You want to give him that match practice. But again, let's see. Southgate knows best, as they say. So in Southgate we trust.
Zeke, what did you feel on Trippier's performance in the US? Because he did catch a lot of criticism for his final ball in that game. It was something that is brought up a lot that I did notice. What were your thoughts, in general, and do you think that he should be substituted out for Kyle Walker?
Yeah, I don't think he was really great, and one his main sort of attribute is this these crosses and the fact that he can get really high, and so if he isn't actually doing that well, then it's not going to be great because I do like him, but I'm not sure how much else he really offers. I think defensively he is good, but not amazing. I think he is just one of these guys who are sort of good at lots of things, but not amazing. But I feel like Walker will need to get a bit of time in the team because later on we are actually going to need him. So I feel like that works. But we are sort of blessed that it doesn't really matter. Both of them are actually good. It isn't like we are changing one and then just going to bring in this average guy. So that obviously helps. But I don't really mind whether he was in or not. Either way, I think it's fine.
Mo, what are your thoughts on the whole sort of debate between the two?
I think Trippier has been all right. I mean, he's been reliable in England over the past few years. But in my opinion, if anyone's going to go in there, I think it has to be Ben White. I mean, he's the most on-form right back in that squad.
Good shout.
Yeah, he's the most on-form right back in that squad. This is going forward. This is not only going forward, but defensively as well. He's been pretty sound this season so far for the first 13, 14 games. So I think if anyone's going to come out of there, I don't think he should take Trippier out, in my opinion. But if he is going to take Trippier out, I think it's only right that Ben White replaces him. Yeah,
fair shout. Sam, Mo says Ben White. What do you say?
I like it, to be fair. It's Rogue. I think the more natural of the two obviously would be Kyle Walker, but I'm certainly not opposed to it. I think it's a shame that we are unfortunately missing this man right here. He's a beautiful man,
Absolutely.
and I just think he's amazing. But he's not here, so I'm gonna stop gushing about him. But yeah, I've watched a lot of Ben White when he was at Leeds, and since, of course, as well, and being at Arsenal as well. I think they're still top at the moment, aren't they, Arsenal? I haven't
Yes,
even
they are. I'm sure Mo will
thought
love to
about
remind you of that.
the Prem, yeah. And yeah, he's been one of the more solid players defensively, and I wouldn't be opposed to it. But if it was me making the choices, I think to try and get Kyle Walker's match fitness up a little bit as well, I think I'd probably give him at least a few minutes. But it's, as I said earlier, it's a good opportunity to rotate the squad a little bit. Just got to be careful.
Not a mention of Trent from anybody now, isn't that telling? Very interesting, very interesting. A bit of insight that. But I mean, yeah. To move on from England anyway, there was other results as well, which I'm sure Sani's really eager to get into. Of course, Argentina beating Mexico 2-0. A bit of a subdued Argentine performance until two absolutely magical goals. This has to be said. So I'll kickstart with the man himself, Sani. Go talk us through that affair.
That's the goal. That's what he does. Mate, the thing is, right, when he got that ball right about that area, that little zone, right? What did I say last week? Like, watching Messi's like sex, right? When he gets in that box, he's different gravy, right? You just know
Get
he's going
me off this live stream.
You just know he's going to score. And when he got that ball, took the touch out of his left foot, drilled it bottom right corner.
Signature Messi finish. Yeah.
He doesn't need no crosses, which hair flicks somehow, count of his goal. I don't know what that is going to be, but listen, unbelievable performance. It was needed. Messi was needed for Argentina. He stood up when it mattered, like 4 years ago against Nigeria, like 8 years ago against Iran in the final minute. He was there. And of course, a massive win for Argentina. Their World Cup journey's back on track. Was it the best performance of Matchday 2? I don't personally think so. I think there are other teams that played better. There were other players that played better. But listen, Messi is back where he belongs. And the Argentina team starts here. The World Cup journey starts here. And let's see where that journey goes.
Yeah, Sam, he says that the journey is back on. What are your thoughts?
I don't disagree with the statement, to be honest, but one thing is a little bit worrying is 3 goals for Argentina this tournament, and all 3 have been at the hands of Lionel Messi. Obviously, he got an assist in the last game, so that reflects his quality, but it's also potentially a bit of a problem for Argentina because is there a lack of sort of creative options? Obviously, we know that they've got quality going forward, but when you're not getting the sort of stats to back it up, if you like, or the goal involvement, then that could be slightly concerning. But at the end of the day, they got the 3 points, and that has rescued them big time after a shock in the first game. So it'll be interesting to see where they finish, how they do in their last game. But I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, it's a fair point, Zeke. I mean, he mentions there that it's Messi dependent in Argentina. They're very, very dependent on the man himself. I did see an interesting quote, and I think it was from Gary Neville. I'm intrigued to say. I'm tempted to say it was Gary Neville. If it was wrong, I do apologise. But he said teams don't fear Lionel Messi the same way that they used to. Give us your take on that. It was him. I thought it was. Just had to double check that. But yeah, what do you think? Why do you think he's come out with that after watching that game against Mexico?
I don't have a clue because I think everyone does. Why wouldn't you? As like that he will make stuff happen and very easily. Like he can just stroll around the pitch, not really do a lot, and he just knows that if he moves here, then he can do this, and it's just like, yeah. But I think as a squad, I don't think they are great, and I didn't actually realise that until like recently. But so it is on him, and I don't know whether they can go that deep. I was hoping that they actually would, but I don't know. I'm just looking at it. That match screened 0-0 until that
expected goals somewhat agrees with you as well. I'm pretty sure that I think they got 0.3 in total. I think they created 2 big chances, both of which were goals.
Yeah.
It makes a rough reading. I mean, Mo, he says that he feels that they won't go very far. Are you tempted to agree? Do you think Argentina have a rather low ceiling in terms of how far they can progress this tournament?
I think they don't have a low. I wouldn't say a low ceiling, but coming into this tournament, quite a few people have them as the favourites to win the whole thing, which I found to be surprising. But I think they can go to about the quarterfinals, maybe semi-finals. But I don't see Argentina going all the way. I think Messi's an amazing player, one of the greatest players ever to play the game. But I don't think you can take them all the way. I think there's too many good teams in the tournament at the moment that will beat Argentina head-to-head later in the tournament.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we've been speaking about performances, and I think it's time to sort of highlight those better performances that we've seen. And I'd like to point out Morocco as one that really stood out as a team, at least anyway, beating Belgium 2-0 in what was a pretty shocking result. I mean, Belgium have not looked at the races anyway so far this tournament, but I think this result really compounded them down into the misery pole they're sinking into. But Morocco, take nothing away, were fantastic in this game. I mean, Sam, I'll come to you first. Who's been your sort of best performer thus far? Would it be Morocco? Anybody else you got a shout for?
I was so annoyed you said Morocco because I was so smug coming into this stream thinking no one's going to say Morocco. I'm all right here. And yeah, they were the one that I wrote down. And same for Ziyech as well. Obviously, being a Chelsea fan, he rarely gets in the team. And when he does, he just doesn't fit the system. I can't remember if I said that last week, but watching him play, we just don't utilise him the right way. But Morocco certainly do. He's been very impressive. And the squad as a whole have... I think sort of contrasted what a lot of people thought about them, any preconceptions that they had pre-tournament. They've completely quashed that, I think, and I think they've massively shown the world how good a nation they are when it comes to football, and long may it continue.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to see that these sides are shining. Zeke, who's been your shining sort of beacon of light so far in Matchday 2? Who's warmed your soul? Who's tickled your heart?
Well, I actually like Ghana. I think no one expected anything. I think they are ranked really, really low, but they've actually got a really nice squad, and Kudos is really, really good.
He's shining for sure.
22 or something like that.
Yeah,
but he looks really, really good. And yeah, that match was also excellent. It was really entertaining.
Chaos.
yeah. But I don't think they'll do very like. I don't think they'll like do anything else. But it's as they go. I think they actually did do really, really well. And they're not really getting a huge amount of praise, really. So I thought I would mention them.
Yeah, I think that Kudus is going under the radar a little bit as one of the sort of star boys of the tournament thus far. He's really had 2 very good showings for my likings, at least anyway. I think he's really stepped up for Ghana when they've needed him. I mean, Sani, who's been your sort of shining light thus far in Matchday 2? I mean, Argentina aside.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to give kudos to Kudos as a
smart play.
But
well played.
I'm gonna go with Croatia. I think they performed magnificent.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I know it's Canada, right? And people might not think, oh, Canada. You know, I'm not saying they're from America, but you don't know where I'm from, dog, right? All of that stuff. You know, they're like ice hockey out there, baseball, NBA, Raptors, all of that. But considering they were 1-0 down, Croatia, they came back 4-1, put an absolute performance on. I thought it was great, and they've definitely shown that they could go far in this tournament. I mean, Euros, they were great, and they went out to Spain in that, I think it was 5-4 in that crazy game in the last 16.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know they made the final 4 years ago. They are missing a few players from that tournament, but listen, Croatia's solid. When they've got that midfield of Brozovic, Kovacic, and Modric, anything's possible. They've got so much experience.
Slick with it. Way too slick with it.
Absolutely amazing. And considering, like I said, they were 1-0 down, Canada were looking good, especially with like Buchanan and Davies. You know what? This could be a problem, but listen, they controlled the midfield, they dictated that tempo, they were creating chances, they got the goals, and it's a great performance. And considering what the Canadian manager came out and said before the match about how they were going to F Croatia up. It's funny because Kramaric came out and said they showed who effed who, and that is for sure, because they're not talking about the FU from John Cena or the STFU. They're talking about the F word that Croatia gave to Canada, and what an F word it was. But listen, going back to it in terms of best performance, I'm gonna have to go with Kovacic. I think that baller is something
Fantastic.
special. I know Sam's a Chelsea fan, and I've got to
He's
say,
amazing.
have a player like that at your club is quality. The way he picks at the ball, drives the ball, he's got so much intent. Obviously, Hassan's a Real Madrid fan. Why'd you let him go? I don't know, but whatever, right? Special player, Kovacic. He was absolutely amazing. I wish I would have him at Man United. He reminds me of, I'm not saying they're the same type of player, but do you remember Moussa Dembele at Spurs? How he
Absolutely, I see that.
Nobody could tackle him, and he just drive with the ball, and he was so key for Spurs. I think Kovacic is the same for Croatia, because we know Modric doesn't have the legs anymore. Yes, he's still a magnificent player, but he's not the same. Brozovic likes to sit there, but Kovacic is the guy that can make something happen. And for me, he had the best performance for that round, and obviously Croatia for me had the best performance of the match day as well.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Kramaric as well, by the way. 2 fantastic goals in that game as well. The first one in particular from that super tight angle. Really, really impressive performance from him. I mean, Mo, give us your highlight as well. Is it Croatia as well, or have you got another shout?
No, I'm going with France for the best performance.
Good
Match
shout.
day 2. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't rate Denmark, but they're actually quite defensively sound. They've actually got a pretty good midfield and defense. I think they played a good 9 minutes against Denmark. But against France, sorry. But best performance goes to them, and Kylian Mbappe, big shout to him, man. 2 goals, came in clutch. Best youngster in the world, yeah.
I mean, he's 23 at this point, which is crazy as well. But yeah, he looks like he can score 2 goals a game at this point in time. I feel like he's on track to break some sort of record, at least for most goals in a single tournament. I don't think he'll be that far away from that overall record either that is currently held by Closer on the. Was it 16 when we agreed in the trivia last week? Am I remembering that correctly?
I can't remember, mate. I think so. I think it was 16.
Yeah, I think you're right on 16, because I'm pretty sure I got it wrong with 15. But yeah, I feel like Mbappe is going to quite easily shatter that record within at least a couple of tournaments. And the thing is, because he's still so young, you know he's still got plenty of legs in there. I mean, speaking of young stars, let's switch it up and go on to the topic that was on the thumbnail. Who is the ultimate golden boy of this tournament? I mean, we had Spain versus Germany in this round as well. You know, Gavi versus Musiala, which was one of the big highlights. I thought Musiala in particular probably won that little battle between the two of them personally as well. I'll come to you, Zeke, first. Who do you think is the absolute ultimate golden boy that you've seen thus far in the tournament?
Well, if Mbappe counts as a young player still, I don't know whether he does.
No, he's 23. He's a veteran.
Hey, making me feel old saying that, man. What's going on?
You are old.
Don't be saying that.
I've seen those greys, mate. You are old.
So yeah. No, not him then.
We'll say sub 22 years old. So anyone that's 22 or younger.
Okay, well, Gavi, I think in the first half of the Germany match looked really, really good on the ball. I've not really watched much of him, but I was really I just loved watching him, and it was almost as if that they were there with Xavi and Iniesta again, but they're both like 19 years old or whatever they are. But yeah, I would say he was really good in the first half, drifted off. But yeah, I mean, kudos as well. He's only young, and I do like him. That's been written in the thing now.
It's been written in the chat by our good friend David Murphy. Good shout as well.
Yeah, I think maybe him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Mo, who's been your sort of golden boy thus far that you've seen?
Gonna once again go with the generic one, but I think it's the best one. Musiala, again, that head-to-head against Spain, I think showed levels. I think showed his maturity. I think he showed he can kind of put a team on his back, if you know what I mean. Not many young players can really do that. So yeah, so far, Musiala, the golden boy.
Fair shout. Sam?
Annoying. I was going to say Gavi. I had that one written down as well. So I think I've got to go with Jude Bellingham, which I've also seen in the chat as well from Zulu HD, and I just think he's brilliant. Like the way that he carries the ball. Okay, none of the England players really hit the ground running against the USA. Struggled to get going. But I just think for his age and for what he's achieved so far, obviously retired shirt number at Birmingham. So yeah,
we all laughed. We all laughed.
Yeah, exactly. And
Laughed.
look at him now. It could be his brother soon as well. He's I think at Birmingham. But for the time
Yes,
being,
he-
Bellingham's brilliant, and some of the clips as well that we see coming out from Dortmund as well, brilliant. I saw one where earlier today actually where he had the ball and looked like he should have lost it a couple of times, and then ended up somehow managing to just scoop it over the goalkeeper. He's just phenomenal talent, and I think we're very lucky to have him in the midfield for as long as we can keep him fit.
Yeah, Sani, you echoing that same sentiment? Is it Big Jude for you? Have you got another shout?
Mate, you could go with Jude Bellingham 100%, but it's funny because obviously we were talking about, we should all be laughing now. Well, we shouldn't be laughing anyway with, Blues having retired his shirt. But I just thought of the Nigel Farage thing was like, we all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you? That's exactly what happened to Jude Bellingham, special player. But I'm going to go, everyone's gone for a different player. I mean, Mo went Musiala. I think Musiala was amazing in that Spain game. Bar that one chance he had, which he should have buried.
Yeah, absolutely.
Germany's best player. Of course, Zeke went with Gavi, great player. It's weird seeing him with number 9, I must say, because normally you see that with
I think that's a crime. I don't think that should be allowed.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course, Sam's gone with Judy, but I'm actually going with Pedri. I think Pedri is an absolute maestro. I think I've gone for that Spanish flair all over again with the tapas, paella, whatever you want to call it. And I think they're just special, mate. Especially him and Gavi. They've got the midfield. It's Xavi, Iniesta all over again. It's nice because I've got Busquets there as well. So it's almost like Busquets was there when he was younger, and Xavi and Iniesta are a bit mature, and now Busquets is kind of at the end of his career, and Pedri and Gavi are there. And I just think Pedri for me is that little bit more special. There's something about him, the way he dictates the tempo, the way he keeps Spain ticking. Even going forward, he's pretty good. He keeps the ball, his dribble. I mean, his pass completion percentage was something like 86% against Germany. That's pretty good, especially when Germany were pressing quite high up the pitch. And they've got very physical midfielders like Goretzka and Kimmich as well. So I think he played magnificently. But like I said, I mean, the boys have given some absolute great shouts. I mean, kudos as well. 22 years old. That's unbelievable. Obviously, Jude, great. Pedri, great. It's tough. I mean, like, it's funny because Gavi got the last golden ball. Was it golden boy award or whatever it's called?
Yeah, golden boy. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone was saying, "Oh, I shouldn't have been Gavi," but Gavi has proved, I think, so far in this tournament that he's definitely worth his weight in gold. So whether that's Spanish gold, I don't know. Catalonian gold, I don't know. But listen, he's definitely worth the money. And Spain are lucky they've got Pedri and Gavi, and Barcelona are very lucky they've got Pedri and Gavi as well.
No one said Rodrigo. I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed.
Who would you say? Seeing as you're the host and you like to keep it neutral and stuff. And I know Zeke's got a Brazilian shirt. I'm surprised you haven't said a Brazilian player.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think personally from what I've seen this far, and my big Real Madrid bias is coming into it. I definitely would say Rodrigo. I think in the 2 games that he's actually performed in thus far, he's been very effective for Brazil. Got an assist today, putting a good shift against Serbia as well. He's cropping up everywhere across that front line. He's cropping up on the left, on the right, in the middle. Probably should have got a goal against Serbia, to be fair as well. That chance on the edge of the box, which he unfortunately put over, but. I think he's really sort of started to break out, which I think we're going to start to see more of him, as the tournament progresses. But I think he's definitely someone that should be in for a starting spot, maybe over Rafinha at this point. I don't think Rafinha's been particularly impressive thus far for Brazil. I think they do need something different on that right hand side. But yeah, that'd be my shout if you were to put a gun to my head and ask me for somebody. But there you go. There you go. As we go there, but switching over to another topic, that underdogs that bite back, and we mentioned Morocco earlier, and I think we'll come back to that. Sani, kick us off. What did you think of what Morocco did against Belgium? It's still quite frankly crazy.
Unbelievable performance. I'm not even talking about the riots that are taking place in Belgium over the weekend. I mean, I saw some videos. I don't know what was going on in Belgium, but bloody hell, that was mental. And I tell you what, Morocco again worth their weight in gold. Whether it's Tagine or something else, whether the Atlas Mountains, God knows where we're talking about. But listen, Morocco were special. They took Belgium to the cleaners. Magnificent performance. I'm happy to see it as well because for a long time, a lot of these African countries, they've got a lot of talent, and especially Morocco. Some of the players like Ziyech, Sam mentioned earlier, Soufal, Buffon, they've got some very good dribblers in their team, and the way they get past players is magnificent to watch. You think you're watching Brazil, but obviously the North African side. But listen, I think Morocco were great, defensively solid. Saiss is an absolute colossus. I mean, if Wolves get relegated this year, he's gone because he should not be there. In attack, they have good options off the bench. We know Sabiri scored that free kick, which had some wicked dip on it. And it's funny because Belgium had the warning sign in the first half when they, I think it was a goal, but I think it was disallowed or something for offside or something like that.
Yeah, it was the Ziyech, wasn't it? I think. Yeah.
Right. So my point is, they had the warning sign. They didn't learn from it, and that was a great performance. And considering how Belgium were touted as, this is the last dance for them kind of thing, and it looks like they're going out. And Morocco, they're on to the next round. I think they're going to beat Canada, and they'll be into the next round. And absolute amazing performance. It's great to see. They were touted as maybe someone that could do some damage, but the underdogs have definitely bitten back, and it's great to see.
Yeah, I mean, Belgium will return to shortly, but fantastic performance from Morocco in general. There was a number of them really. I think Australia getting a result with Tunisia was a pretty interesting one as well. There was just plenty of them. I mean, I think the one today as well with Ghana as well, fantastic performance again. Mo, who is your sort of underdog that bit back that you were really impressed by?
Well, the underdog that bit back was actually a weird one, but it's Costa Rica coming back off a 7-1 defeat from Spain, come back to 1-0. Yeah, the performance wasn't the greatest of performances, but they actually played well. And surprisingly, because everybody knows after coming off a defeat like with high numbers, especially 7-1, which is like a recent record, I think, in World Cup times. I think that's hard to come back from as well. But yeah, since they came back at 1-1-0, they're the underdogs that buy back for me.
Yeah, I mean, you've given Costa Rica some extra bit of credit there with the 7-1. It was 7-0 actually, just to mud them that bit further. But we shouldn't mud them because they did come off with a nice performance after we called them dross last week. So
that was you. That was you, not we. What are you on about? We. Okay. That was you.
Apologies to the people of Costa Rica that I called you dross. Zeke, who is your underdog that bit back that really sort of took you by surprise?
Well, my one was actually going to be really Costa Rica as well. So, but yeah, they weren't amazing, but they just held on, and that is all that you actually need really in this type of match where anything can really happen, and it's like that. And I think they had, what was it, like one or even two chances or something that
I think it was one shot. They had. I think
was it one shot?
Yeah.
Yes.
One of those FIFA performances, one shot on target, one goal.
Yeah. So if you were up against that, you would be not pleased. But for all of us watching it, it was excellent. But yeah, and then as you've already mentioned, Australia, I didn't expect anything at all, but they were actually really, really good as well. I can't think of too many others really. I feel like because Ecuador obviously got their draw, that could probably count under this as well.
Would you count Iran as underdogs?
I don't know.
No, I think they've got a good enough squad to be.
But nobody gave them a
in
chance.
second
Nobody
place.
gave them a chance.
Yeah, that's because they got beat by 6 goals from England. To be fair, I mean, in comparison to everyone else in that group, I'd say they got a pretty good shot against, the likes of Wales and the US at least. I'd say they're all roughly on par with each other, not far off quality wise.
Yeah.
Sam, who is your favourite underdog?
Well, listen, I'm a big fan of Harry Styles, and one of my favourite songs by him, Canyon Moon. It's not quite Canyon Moon, but it is Cameroon, and coming fresh off of a
segue.
Yeah, well, what can I say? If I could squeeze Harry Styles in anywhere, it would be under my bloody desk. But Your Honour. But after losing 1-0 against Switzerland in their first game, I mean, it was a hell of a day for comebacks today. And I think they went 1-0 up, then 3-1 down, and then ended up drawing the game 3-3. It was vintage to watch, really. And Abubakar was brilliant. Proves that age is just a number.
Better than Salah, he says.
Oh, Salah's just so over. Like, where is he? He's not in Qatar, is he, mate? He's still.
Salah
he's
is
with
mid. Is that what you're trying to say, Sam? Is he mid?
No comment. So, no, I rate Salah. If there were any Liverpool fans watching, I really like Salah, and I think he's very good. But yeah, Cameroon. Yeah, Cameroon. They're my ones. My underdogs are a bit back. I think they're quite literally biting back, as I say, against a very capable Serbia squad. I really rated Serbia coming into this tournament. They got a lot of quality all up and down the pitch, but yeah, Cameroon I think upset a lot of people today, and good on them. Long may it continue. Although saying that, I think they've only got 1 point, so I think they're pretty much out. But,
a point to point at the World Cup.
absolutely.
At the end of the day, it's the highlight of a lot of players' careers to play at. So
yeah,
kudos to them. I mean, just to come back to Belgium briefly, they are in quite literal nuclear meltdown. I don't know if you boys have seen the quotes that have come out from the Belgium camp in the last couple of days. Well, today and a couple of days ago. But just before their game against Morocco, Kevin De Bruyne, when asked whether they can win the World Cup, said, "No, we're too old," which is a very interesting thing to say, especially considering that you're supposed to be one of the key players. And they're trying to pick themselves back up after a poor performance. And then today it comes out with Vertonghen, I think it was, where he's just turned around and basically just said, "I can't speak on what's going on in the camp, but it's not good." And then I've just also read a report that apparently him and Eden Hazard almost came to blows in the changing room and had to be separated by, wait for it, Romelu Lukaku. Yeah, interesting. I mean, I'm still very much confused as to how Eden Hazard is squaring up to someone the size of Vertonghen, but there you go. I mean, Zeke, touch on what you think is going on in that Belgian camp. Ranked second in the world coming into this tournament, and they're currently looking like the Kardashians.
Yeah, I don't have a clue how they are actually ranked that high, because they haven't actually won anything, have they? They've not really deserved it. And yeah, as a squad, it is old, and he probably didn't need to actually mention that because everyone knows it, and it's that's not really what you should do anyway. But yeah, it seems like tensions are quite high. Expectations were high, now they're not, and I think they all know now that they're not really going to get another opportunity, and they have basically just blown it. So it'll be interesting in their last match. I don't know who they have, but
Croatia.
I don't think they're going to win that. So I think they may end up then being the biggest sort of flop out of everyone. But yeah, I'm not really too bothered. I'm not keen on them really. I don't really like them as a team.
Sani, you feel those same sentiments? Do you reckon that they are pretty much at the end of the road when it comes to that golden generation?
Listen, I think it's time to play some Johnny Cash. Ain't no grave, because mate, they're finished. They are done. The golden generation it's over. And the best part is with this golden generation, there was so much promise. But this is the problem, and I think I mentioned it in the chat before, that with a lot of these golden generations, it's very hard to live up to the hype. If we look, let's say 21st century onwards, 2004, England didn't really live up to the hype. The Portuguese side around that time as well, with Figo and Ronaldo coming up, didn't really live up to the hype. The only team that you could say did is probably Spain.
Maybe France,
maybe France, but can you really say they have a golden generation? I wouldn't say so. Belgium definitely did. They didn't really live up to the hype. I'd say it's only really, if you think about it, only Spain.
Yeah, Spain, I'd say 100%. Like, they nailed that generation. They got the most out of it.
And just players, I mean, with respect, I mean, I know Sam's a Chelsea fan. It seems like we're just coming for Chelsea today. We mentioned Mount earlier. Now we're coming for this guy, the Batman. Schwei. He's got no Robin because he's I don't know what he does. He's no sidekick, and he's not a main dish as well. I don't know what he is. He adds nothing. He adds absolutely nothing to the.
Is he playing in Turkey at this point, Sam? You can probably correct me there.
I don't know exactly where he is. All I know is he's not in London, but yeah, I think he's in Turkey.
Yes,
it's not.
Yeah, it speaks volume, doesn't it? The fact this squad is just there's players in there that I don't quite understand why they're still there. I mean, Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld, why are they still in the setup?
Yeah.
You know, that's just two potential names in there alone. I mean, Mo, what do you think of the whole mess that's going on in that Belgium camp?
Yeah, I mostly agree. Honestly, the squad's old. They know it. Everybody knows it. It was unnecessary, really, for De Bruyne to say that. It was a bit cheeky, but I think honestly, he has no hopes or dreams of winning anything with Belgium. I think he's satisfied, quite satisfied with what he's doing at City and the project going on there. I don't think he really cares about international football, because I think the reason I don't think he cares anymore is because they've kind of passed that golden generation. I think their chance was last World Cup or the previous Euros.
Or that third place
Uh,
finish? Yeah.
Yeah, when they had the whole squad together, they actually had everyone performing. But now it looks dysfunctional. I don't know. They kind of look up and down. Yeah, golden generation done, I guess, for now. We never know. If De Bruyne is still playing in 4 years, there's always a golden generation of him. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, do you reckon that they can cling on for another few years, or do you think that's it? Shut the door and it's on.
I think that's it, unfortunately. I feel like they were always in the same breath as some of the other big names in football when it came to who you think's going to win various major tournaments in the last few years. And credit to them. I mean, third place in the World Cup is not bad at all. I don't think that they've necessarily sort of bottled it, but obviously they haven't lived up to the heights of reaching a final or claiming any silverware. That being said, I didn't really go into this World Cup with them in that same breath that I once had them in. I think that, as we've all said, they're an aging squad, and like you said, that Alderweireld and Vertonghen are two players on that team sheet that I look at and can't get my head around what they're still doing there. I mean, Lukaku is past his best. I think he's not up to it. Batshuayi leading the line.
Oof.
Yeah, there you
Past his
go.
best at the age of 30. Oof.
Yeah, I don't rate him. I mean, he stunk the place out at Chelsea, if I'm being completely honest. So that's probably feeding into it a little bit. Obviously, did well in Serie A, and Serie A has a fairly competitive league. But I feel like the fact that he bottled it at United and Chelsea, I just think he hasn't got the right build for it. You know, when he was like younger and fitter and quicker. I know, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. But yeah, I think he's past his best. De Bruyne is still fantastic. Courtois is still fantastic. And for me, off the top of my head, unless there are any glaring misses, they're the only two sort of world-class players in that team. Everyone else, I think, is past their prime. Hazard, unfortunately, as well, always got a place in my heart, especially when he turned. Yeah, he's not Chelsea anymore, so yeah, I can say that. But, you know, it'll always be in my head that time he absolutely spun Coquelin, which I'm sure you remember.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think that they are. Hazard, in a way, sort of epitomises that Belgium squad. Once sort of up there at the heights and have come crumbling down in the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a depressing sight to see, and it's a shame that it never came to more. But comment section, let us know who's in the scrap, Hazard or Vertonghen. Moving on, we got the big fat quiz from Sam down there. So let's see what he's got.
I don't know where big fat quizzes come from, because everybody who watched last time and everybody who's watching right now should know that it's Sam's Super Sexy World Cup quiz. That's right.
Yeah, hold.
Pens and paper at the ready. But first, who's hosting it? Oh yeah, that's right. I hope there's some single ladies watching, because not only is this going to be a W quiz, but the host has got W Riz. Oh, I cocked that up.
That was good.
But I do have, it is worth noting, a tendency to quiz too soon. It is me, Sam Peyton, and I am hosting the quiz. Sam Super Sexy World Cup quiz, to be precise. Question number 1. Are we ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Lovely stuff. Normally, we encourage people to get your answers in the comments, but I want no cheating today, ladies and gents. Question number 1. Who is the current top goal scorer so far in this tournament? And you get a point per player.
It's shared between like 5 people. Something stupid, isn't it? Why am I thinking out loud again? Shut up.
I should probably say that there are two. There are 2 people before you end up writing like 8 names down. That is, who is the current top goal scorer so far this tournament? Question number 2. Cameroon, Serbia, and South Korea scored quick-fire doubles in today's matches, but which country scored the fastest double? So it's either Cameroon, Serbia, or South Korea. So 1 and 3, guys, but it is tricky.
So I still don't like my odds.
And there is also a bonus point. We love a bonus point. We love a bonus point. And the bonus point is for how many minutes were between the 2 goals.
Oh God.
I was tempted to go seconds as well, but that felt way too harsh. Yeah.
Stab in the dark, mate. Yeah.
Too much admin. Lovely stuff. Question number 3. Which host nation had an orange as their mascot? Was it A, South Africa, B, Spain, or C, Italy? That is, which host nation had an orange as their mascot?
An orange?
It's got to be this team. It's got to be
Throw
this
me
team.
off there, mate.
That's completely baffled me.
South Africa, Spain, or Italy?
You find an orange, just go to Essex on a Friday night. You'll see many oranges out on that sort of time.
What's it? That question 4, sorry.
That was question 3, unless I've cocked up the... Yeah, no, that was question 3. That was question 3.
Yeah. Making him doubt himself. We're in there.
Which goalkeeper had the most World Cup clean sheets in World Cup history? Is it A, Peter Shilton? Is it B, Iker Casillas? Or is it C, Dino Zoff? Nasty.
That's a very good question. I can't lie.
I think it's that one.
I didn't like all the high scoring last time, so I felt like I had to make it a bit harder.
Yeah, no one remembers the clean sheet kings, do they? You know?
No.
I feel like I want to absolutely bomb at this one. Great.
You've got a good excuse. You're all right. You got that in pretty early today. So.
Oh, there it is.
Right. Italy haven't qualified for this summer's World Cup, as we all know. Shout out Italy. If any Italians are watching. Mamma mia. How many World Cups have Italy won in the past? No multiple choice for this one.
Okay.
That is how many World Cups have Italy won?
I still remember watching the 06 one, to be honest, like a kid.
This is why I said you're old.
I was only a kid. I wasn't a veteran.
I think my first World Cup was 2010, so put that into perspective. Yeah, crazy stuff. Question number 6. How many teams qualify for the first knockout round?
Oh, I had to double think. I had to double think about that for a second. I felt like an idiot. No, it's fine. I've got it.
That's how many teams qualify for the first knockout round. Question number 6. Now, question number 7. Who was the first English player to be sent off at a World Cup? It is another multiple choice. Is it A, David Beckham, B, Alan Ball, or C, Ray Wilkins?
Oh, I don't like this question.
I'm causing so much hassle in your brains right now. I can hear the cogs turning.
My brain's hurting.
The cogs aren't turning; they're just grinding together. I need some WD-40 or something because they're not working.
So just to go over the options again, you've got A, David Beckham, B, Alan Ball, or C, Ray Wilkins for the first English player to be sent off at a World Cup. Which brings us on to question number 8. How many countries have made their World Cup debuts in Qatar?
I think it's a lot, you know.
That's how many countries have made their World Cup debuts in Qatar.
I'm still trying to think about question 1.
I can go back over any that you need me to go back over. In the meantime, it's question number 9. How many times... I've just read the next question. Oh, just when you thought it couldn't get any harder. How many times have North Korea played in the World Cup?
Oh, God.
What?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, how many times have North Korea played in the World Cup? Shout out Kim if you watch him.
I'm just trying to think if it's ever happened in my lifetime, and I'm not sure if it has.
Yeah, it has. It has.
It has. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wait, there was a reel that we just done, right?
Of course. Yeah, sorry, mate. My brain's got a bit foggy. Sorry.
Question number 10. Oh, God, hang on. I need to compose myself here. It's okay. I'm getting giddy. Thogden is aiming to be the first person to watch every game of the World Cup in Qatar this year. How many games will he be watching? I've just realised I've got multiple choice. Guys, don't you worry, there's multiple choice. 32, 64, 88. I'm getting too carried away here. That is how many games will Thogden be watching basically how many games are there?
I think it's that one. Confident it's that one.
Beautiful stuff. Does anybody need me to go over any of the questions?
No, I'm good.
There's not much point because I'm probably going to get 0. So
I agree with Zulu HD, by the way. On both counts.
I've met him. He's a lovely guy. Shout me out.
How unfortunate.
Flex. He's all right. Thogdad wasn't there, unfortunately. So
There's one for you as well,
Sam. Pardon?
Huh?
There's one for you here.
What, mullet out for the lads? Ka-ching. Is it
Why is that
everybody?
for
I
me?
suppose it
Oh,
is,
is it?
maybe.
Nah, it needs to be a bit curlier.
Yeah, true. Get some colours out. Right, let's go over the answers. So, Mo, welcome to the show. I'm coming to you for the first answer, my friend. Who are the current top scorers of the World Cup?
I've gone with a guess of
Cool.
Kylian Mbappe and Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, it's funny. I test run these questions on my mum and dad as well. My mum said Saka as well. Mbappe is correct, so that's one of them. Does anybody know who the second one is? Confidently, go on, hit me, Sani.
It's got to be
Enner Valencia.
Oh,
Well
yeah.
done.
Valencia.
Yeah, and-
Oh, God.
Well done.
3
They
apiece,
both got
isn't
3
it?
goals. Yeah,
Yeah.
both got 3 goals, so they are tied. Well done for any points that you have got so far. This is pretty tricky. I didn't realise how tricky I made this quiz. However, we're going to move on to question 2, a more niche one specified to this round. Who are we going to go to for this one? Do we stick
Zeke.
down that left side? Oh, we could go Zeke. Or we could go to Hassan. Go on, Sniffles.
Oh,
What have you got
God.
for question number 2?
Mate, I went with South Korea. I've got no clue.
You went for South Korea. Interesting. That is wrong. Zeke, I'm going to go to you
Yeah, I thought so.
second.
I also did. So
Did anyone not get South Korea? Hit me. What have you gone for?
I went Serbia.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, Mo, what did you go for?
Cameroon.
One of you's right, obviously. And the correct answer is it's Serbia. It is Serbia. Tricky. Does anybody know, or did anybody guess? Actually, do you know what? We'll go round in order. So Zeke, we'll start with you. How many minutes do you think there were between the goals?
3.
No. Hassan, what did you go for?
I said 2.
Sani, what did you go for?
I went 3.
Okay, Mo, what did you go for?
I'm going to go 2. 2 as well.
It is 2. It is 2.
Oh,
So I used
it is
Alexa
2.
to answer questions.
So, Serbia, 2 minutes. Cameroon, 3 minutes. South Korea, 3 minutes as well. Ridiculous. All in one day, by the way. But, yes, it was all in one day. Was it all in one day? It was all in one day. Was it?
I think so.
Yes, it was. It was.
Illuminati confirmed.
It is, yeah. Sorry, guys. I had a bit of a mare there. Big, though. Big. Okay, so question number 3. Which host nation has an orange as their mascot? Sonny, I'm going to you, mate. What have you got for that?
I went for the Rainbow Nation, South Africa, but I think I'm wrong.
You
South
are
Africa.
wrong. You are wrong. That was the
Yeah.
first one. That was the first one. It's not South Africa, which means it's Spain or Italy. Zeke, what did you go for?
I mean, for some reason, I've got South Korea, not South.
We love it. We
Hasn't
love
even
it.
got one of the correct options.
I swear I heard that, but clearly not.
Well, we'll get VAR on it. We'll get VAR on it at the end of this. Okay. Hassan, what did you go for?
I went with Spain because I just thought Spain seemed synonymous with oranges to me.
It is Spain. And I've got some facts about oranges in Spain. They produce 3.6 million tons of oranges per year and are the
I had a
biggest
feeling, but I
producers
was like,
of oranges in the world.
I'm not sure if I'm thinking of tangerines or oranges, and I thought I was just double crossing myself, so I thought I'm going to go for it. Yeah, Spain.
They do bloody both, mate. They do bloody both.
Lovely.
A lot of oranges.
I just remember, so when I went to Madrid in September, I saw oranges literally everywhere.
Mental. But you're not supposed to eat them off the tree. Fun fact,
Yeah,
don't
which
know
makes
why.
no sense.
No
Don't
wonder
know,
he's
yeah.
Makes no
right
sense.
Yeah.
Later.
So there you go. The answer for that was B, Spain. Which brings us on to question number 4. Which goalkeeper had the most World Cup clean sheets in the history of the competition? Where do we start? This is so exciting to have so much power. We're gonna go with Mo. No, we're gonna go with Mo.
All right.
What'd you go for, mate?
I'm confident with this one. I'm going with Dino's off.
Very confident. Also very wrong.
Ah,
Who do we pick on next? Zeke, I'm going to you, mate.
Is off as well. I'm
All right.
happy there. I really
Cool.
am.
Did anyone not go for Zoff before I pick?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Hassan, what'd you go for?
I don't know why I just went with Casillas because I feel like Spain kept a lot of clean sheets when they're in their absolute best, but I feel like
Like
that's
it.
probably wrong.
I like it. Okay, Sani, what did you go for?
Yeah, I went Zoff with the boys.
Oh, you went Zoff with the boys. I see. Okay, well, unfortunately, you're all wrong. Oh, this is a good question. You have been defeated, I think, for the first time by the Quizmaster. Doctor. Not doing that again. He got 10 clean sheets, by the way. Mental stuff. So Pete Shilton was the answers for that.
Wow.
Question number 5. Italy haven't qualified for this summer's World Cup. How many World Cups have they won? Show me with your fingers. I want to see those hands. We got some 3s. We got some 4s. Zeke, what did you go for? I want to see that.
Sorry, you got
went for
4.
2. Yeah, it was probably for the best that they stayed down for so long. And there is one right answer. That is Sani. It is 4 World Cups.
I thought so. I wasn't sure though. I was like, no, I'm not sure if they called it, but yeah.
Some good guesses in the left-hand corner / middle.
Oh well.
Lucky effort, guys. Hey. How many teams qualify for the first knockout round? I'm not going to ask you to show me your fingers because it's numerically impossible and biologically impossible as well. I like it. Go on then, Mo. What did you go for?
16.
Yes, mate. That was. I had to go to you for the plucky effort. It was. It is 16. Yeah. Well done. Love
I
it.
feel like this is quite tight because we've all got a fair few wrong, I think.
Yeah, I've really lost count with who's got what. So I'm trusting you guys to tally yourselves up in a fair manner.
I've got loads of points.
I've got 10 already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Question number 7. Who was the first English player to be sent off at a World Cup? Sani, I'm going to go to you first. What did you go for?
See, I went David Beckham, but I think I'm wrong.
Yeah, same.
Did everyone go David Beckham?
I went Beckham too.
It's just that one famous one I could think of. It's really not getting my head.
Yeah. Wait, Zeke, what did you go for? Sorry, Bex as
I
well.
went no, Wilkins.
You got it right, mate. I am proud of you.
What?
The
Shout.
comeback is on.
Yeah,
Ray
it's
Wilkins.
Wow.
Big stuff.
did you
David
get?
Beckham was the second.
When did Wilkins get sent off then?
Oh,
No
do you
idea.
know what? Yeah, do you know what? I had somewhere in brackets. Yeah, I had something in case Sani asks because I knew that you're that kind of guy to ask questions that I have to prepare the answers for. But I didn't do. I didn't do it for this one, so Google it, mate. But question number 8: how many countries
Googling the
have
whole time.
made? Yeah, it probably has, mate. As we've seen in the comments, I didn't see anything in your glasses, but maybe the viewers have seen something. Question number 8: how many countries made their World Cup debuts in Qatar? Show me with your fingers.
I don't know. 5.
5, 4, 2. Okay, and there's one. There is one right answer, obviously, because you'll put different answers up. It is 1, and that host nation is the only nation to make their debut in the competition. There you go.
Shambles.
I thought it was
You'll
Saudi. I thought it was Saudi's first time. That's why.
Interesting.
No, they were the last
I
one.
don't know when
weren't
they were.
Were they the
maybe.
last one?
Oh.
I
They
feel like they
lost
were the last
5-0
one.
on opening day to Russia.
That was it, yeah. I thought so. I had a feeling they were the last
Oh,
one.
mental.
Forgot, yeah.
Crazy stuff.
I don't know
See,
why I
there
thought
you
this was South Korea's first time. I have no idea why.
go. Unfortunately, I haven't done the research on every single team in the competition. But yeah, all I know is that Qatar are the only team making their debut. Question number 9. How many times have North Korea, evening Kim, played in the World Cup? How many competitions, sorry. Yeah, how many competitions have they featured in? Yeah, show me the fingers, guys. 2, 2.
I think it's 1.
1, 1. Oh, I love it. Well, 2 of you are right.
I initially did have 1 written down, which is the worst.
I think it's
bloody
2.
part.
I have a feeling it's 2. 2010 they were there. I know that much.
It is 2. It is 2.
Oh, yeah.
So congratulations to the 2 of you that got that right.
So
And
glad I doubted myself.
the last question. Thogden, who I think is a bloody lovely guy. Shout out Thogden, guys.
Can we all cancel Sam Peyton?
No, mate! Because he subscribed to me. Fun fact. That's why I'm gonna be
Fair
careful.
play.
He might be watching now. Thogden, if you're watching at home, I love you. Okay, promise. No, I do. Anyway, the quiz. Thogden is aiming to be the first person to watch all the games in the World Cup. Essentially, the question is, how many games in total are there in the World Cup? 32, 64, or 88?
B.
Who do?
B.
B. Interesting. 64. Zoo Lane straight to that.
What a show.
Wow. Wowza, Rooney. It is 64 Zoo Lane. And down that lane is the correct answer. Well done, guys. Well done, guys.
Lovely.
With that, I don't see how he's going to physically do it because, you know, the last 16 or even the next group stage games.
There'll be some games at the same time, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
how's he going to do that?
He's sort of had that
I
so far
think-
already. Crossover.
I think he only has to attend it briefly, even if it's for a minute, it still counts, which is pretty
Yeah.
fraudulent if you
It's
ask
a
me.
half
But,
of each game.
but you never asked me, did you?
Yeah. Where's our invite?
Yeah.
No, I
Sat
just
in our
don't.
bedrooms.
I just don't see how that counts because
Yeah, no, I
like-
get you. I do get you because I was
even
thinking.
if you went there for a second, it's not really going to the game, is it? It's like you looked at the stadium left.
Yeah, exactly. So you've literally gone there, touched concrete, and got home. But yeah, it's an interesting. It doesn't seem like it would be that enjoyable either, because surely you're just going to be stressed looking at the time, thinking, "Shit, like, do we leave now? Do we?"
Yeah,
give
but
it,
the
like, a
thing's
few
probably
more days?"
entirely paid for, so it's probably not come out of his pocket either. It's probably someone
Very
who's
true.
paid for it.
And he's probably not in one of those tents either. But yep, Theo, evening. So I hope you've all in that time
Fraud watch.
totted up your answers. Totted up your answers. So we are going to go to Hassan first.
I got 7. CR7.
Interesting. Oh, look, that's respectable. That is respectable. Zeke, I'm going to go to you next, mate.
I got a massive 4.
That's
Okay,
wonderful.
so
That
I'm
is
not laughing.
genuinely, it was on
Terrific.
reflection. It was really tricky, the quiz. I've absolutely shafted you. So,
Yeah, you have
Good.
actually.
good is what I say. But Mo, what have you gone
If you
for,
want his
mate?
number to send him hate, I'll give it you.
I've got 3.5. Half on the first point where I got Mbappe only,
Yep.
right? Instead of Valencia. So I got Saka instead, yeah. So
Oh
3.5
yeah, no,
points.
yeah, it's a point per player. So that you'll give yourself 4, mate. Give yourself 4.
Fine. We'll
You're
go
all
through it.
right. You're all right. That's good. That's good. So you're joint last still, but
For God's sake, it's down to me and him
it
again.
is. It is.
I
don't
Sani
like this.
Came in clutch
Sick
with
of-
a 90+7 winner. Has he
I
done
think
it
he hate
again?
me again.
So
Yeah.
actually, count up with your fingers how many points you've got. There's been a lot of finger action for my liking this this quiz.
I hate losing to this guy so much.
He's not stopping, is he?
7.
7-7.
Oh.
Wow. Which brings us
Wait.
to a tiebreaker
Wait,
question.
Wait. I just
John,
want to
quickly
get.
fun.
I just want to get a prop in case. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, right. So we're gonna have to go to a tiebreaker question for this, and something
pardon me.
that I haven't got any more cup facts. Right, bear with me 2 seconds. Guys, let's fill this dead air by saying if you are new here, please do subscribe, follow the boys on social media because we're having a great time doing this, and we appreciate your support. We appreciate you watching, all the comments. Let's have a look at the comments going through. David Murphy said, Ochoa played in every World Cup. That's excellent. If anybody else would like to take over reading through comments to fill the dead air, I'd greatly appreciate that. What's a fun tiebreaker?
Has to be Willie Caballero. I'm not sure what the context is there. Who likes my number plate? I'm not reading that out loud.
Oh, that's good, Stephen Carr. We like that.
Stephen Carr's calling out Zeke. I don't respect this. You can't call out Zeke like that.
It's not. So
Show him your sensitivity code thing. Then we'll know it's real.
no,
Ugh.
Right, boys. The
you
moment
have
of
to
truth.
listen to the.
Yeah, see, look, that's how you know it's real. It's got a code on it.
We know anyway.
Oh,
We know, don't we, Harry?
Not explicitly just that code being there, but you know, if you Google that code, it'd be legit.
Yeah, we know.
We love to see it.
100
We love to
likes
see
and
it.
you'll prove it.
Yeah, it's good. Right, I've got the question. I've seen this one. I've been debating putting it in. It's really tricky, but it is multiple choice. In 1930,
Oh,
what was what was notable about Hector Castro, one of Uruguay's goal scorers in the final against Argentina? So he scored for Uruguay against Argentina in the final. What was notable? Was it A, he was born in Argentina? B, part of his arm had been amputated? C, he was related to Fidel Castro? Or D, the World Cup final was his last game for Uruguay. So Hector Castro, is he related to Fidel Castro? Was he born in Argentina? Had part of his arm been amputated? And the World Cup final, was that his last game? So
There's 3 very strange choices. Can I get them?
Yeah, of course, and I'll do them in order this time. So A for Hector Castro, was he born in Argentina, scoring against them? Had part of his arm been amputated? Is he related to Fidel Castro? And is the World Cup final, or was the World Cup final in which he scored his last game for Uruguay?
That is wild. That's absolutely wild.
There's only 2 realistic options, I think, here.
I feel like the one being born in another country seems feasible, but then it seems too bloody obvious.
Interesting. Let me know when you've got your answers.
Oh yeah, I've locked mine in because
I have no idea.
Okay.
I didn't get the letter. I just written the word down.
Annoyingly, by the way, I've just realised that the tense music has been missing for this. Is actually really, really upsetting. I've got it for the last question. What better time to bring it in? So, Sani, I'm going to go to you first, mate. What have you gone for as your answer?
It's torn between B and D. Because I think at that time, if you were born in another country, you had to play for that country. I don't think you could change.
Yeah, because wasn't Di Stefano like?
Yeah.
I think he did something like that. I
He
think.
might have played his last game, or I don't know why, but could his arm have been, I don't know, chopped? I don't know. Let's just go B, why not?
Chopped. B, and that one is part of his arm been amputated. Interesting.
Yeah,
Hassan, what did you go for?
I don't know.
I also went for the amputated thing because I just feel like the other 2 are too bloody obvious.
Actually, no. I'm going to go D. Sorry, I'm going to go D. Sorry.
Always
You're changing it. He has
D.
bottled it.
D,
So
sorry.
you think the World Cup final was his last game for Uruguay?
Yeah, he rolled off into the sunset like a legend.
It seems too nice.
Okay. I will just say, after that change, one of you is right.
Oh dear, it's not me, is it?
And one of
It's
you
not
is wrong.
me. No, it's definitely not me. He's wearing the Budweiser hat and everything. It's
The
definitely
notable feature, should we say, or thing about Hector Castro in 1930, one of Uruguay's scorers against Argentina, was that part of his arm had been amputated.
No!
So there you go. 90 plus 12. Castro severed part of his right forearm while using an electric saw when he was 13 years old. He was nicknamed El Divino Manco, the one-armed god. And
Wow.
rightly
The title
so.
has changed hands.
It
In
has,
shocking
mate.
fashion
It
in round
has.
5. I've knocked him out.
Different winners, 2 different weeks, and ladies and gents, I hope you have enjoyed, because that has been Sam's Super Sexy
Wait.
World Cup quiz.
Wait, I need another prop.
All right, maybe not then.
How has he won that?
I feel terrible that you both went for the same answer, then you changed it last minute.
I was just there like, he wouldn't have
Oh.
been in
Oh, God.
Whatever
Oh,
daddy
God.
wants, daddy gets.
I'm going to sit for the rest of the stream with this on my shoulder.
So it is 1-1 in the head-to-head for the World Cup. Well, Sam's Super Sexy World Cup quiz. Where's it going to end up? There's only one way to
Ruben
find out.
Castro. Bloody hell, what a throwback.
Yeah.
What a throwback. Just in case you haven't been keeping up and you've just joined us, I am currently the trivia champion. just to reaffirm that. I just reclaimed that title from Sahel. He's going to cry. And I'm going to rub that in his face when I next time see him. Trusty process. Yes, we do trust the process that I am now the trivia king. Anyhow, Matchday 3, lads. Some big clashes coming through. Big clashes. We'll go back to the England one. Do we think that they're going to just get the job done on Wales and take top of the group, no problems at all? What's the feeling in the room consensus? Zeke, what are you feeling? Do you reckon they're just going to storm to a win over Wales?
I don't think they'll storm it. No, I feel like Wales are going to come out and try and get something out of it. But I think they will win. I think it will be 1 or 2-0, nothing massive.
Sani, about yourself, do you reckon that they're going to take the top of the group, go for it?
Yeah, I think England will finish top. Because I think with that Iran-USA game, it's going to go either way. We're not talking about World War III because it's apolitical here. We're talking about the actual game itself. It's going to go one way or the other. It's going to be a great game, but I reckon England. I reckon England are going to win and on to the next round, probably facing Ecuador, Senegal. So I'm looking forward to it. It's better be a good performance. That's all I'm going to say tomorrow. But let's see what happens.
Mo, you feeling confident?
Yeah, I'm feeling confident. I think England should blow Wales away, even with a weakened side, maybe even with a few changes. I think England should blow them away. Yeah.
Sam, man
I'm
with the England shirt on.
I'm united with the Arsenal fan for once. I completely agree. I think that we should get the job done, rotating side or not. I think that we'll be absolutely fine. But as I said earlier, we can't afford to be too comfortable. And I think that Wales will put up a fight, even though that they're out. It's still Wales versus England. There's still that rivalry there. There's still going to be that desire to win. And if I remember rightly, Wales have got, although a sliver of a chance, there is still a chance. It would probably be a miracle if they ended up going through. But yeah, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, and another clashes that I'm looking forward to is over in Group D as well, because there's still a lot in the balance for second place in that group. Tunisia taking on France, who of course have already qualified, but Tunisia are within an earshot of at least getting through. Currently sitting on 1 point. They'll be hoping for. Well, to be fair, if Denmark actually win, they could also sneak through. So it's an interesting one. So, what do we think, boys? Who do you think is going to sneak second spot in Group D? Mo, I'll start with you. Who do you think is going to take that? It's going to be Denmark, Australia, or Tunisia?
I'm definitely going Denmark. I think they've got the quality to win their final match. I actually think they got quite unlucky against France to lose the game there. They should have maybe walked away with a point at least. But yeah, I'm thinking Denmark's going to slip in that second.
Sani?
It was a question of what you want to listen to, Lamb Down Under or took the walk to Poland, and that is a big question. I mean, we're not even playing, but I think Denmark are gonna do it. I agree with Mo. They've got a bit more quality. They were unlucky, I think, in that French game. To be fair, they're playing all right. It just happened to be that French just had that Mbappe, that special player up top, and they got the goals. But I think that's gonna be a good game, Australia, Denmark. But I'm gonna go with Denmark to progress.
Sam, you back in the Danes?
I think so. I think on paper, when you weigh up all the squads in that group, the top two you would have imagined pre-tournament would be France and Denmark. Australia, though, I think they've been impressive, better than I thought. I thought they'd be written off in pretty much every game. Fantastic header, by the way, in their last game. And the celebration towards his son in the crowd was brilliant as well. But yeah, I think that it will be Denmark that will go through. I think they're going to go through with France.
And Zeke, are you back in the Danes as well?
Yeah, I want to be different, but I can't really look past them, really. I think Australia will do their best, and I do like them, but I don't think they really have enough. And I think, yeah, Denmark will probably get that spot.
Yeah, fair shout. I mean, can we all just take a second to look at the redemption arc of Christian Eriksen as well over the last 18 months with that incredible story from being essentially almost out of the games to now being on the cusp of a World Cup knockout stage. Not even that long after. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Group E as well. That's another one that's very much in the balance. Spain looking more or less home and hosed, but Japan, Costa Rica, Germany, all very much still vying for positions there. Sani, I'll come to you first. Who do you think is going to ebb through into second there?
Well, if we believe that Spain are finishing top, then I think Germany have caught life here with Costa Rica beating Japan. Mo mentioned underdogs and he mentioned Costa Rica. They're going to give Germany a good game, to be fair. Whether they win or not is a different question. I don't think they will. But what will be interesting is if Japan are drawing against Spain, that means that Germany have to win that game by 2 goals in order to progress. Do they have 2 goals in them? I don't know, because the only way I can see them is if they're playing action number 9 up top, so that Fulkrug, I think they have to play him up top, and I think Germany will then finish second. But it's going to be a very scary few moments for Germany, especially if they hear news that, let's say, Japan are winning that game, or if let's say it's 0-0 or 1-1. Because then it comes down to goal difference and goals scored. So, yeah, I think Germany is the safe bet, but let's see what the Japanese have to offer.
Zeke, you agreeing with that? Do you think Germany will ebb their way into second?
Yeah, yeah. I think that the Costa Rica win has helped them massively, but I think they will make it. I feel like they picked it up against Spain, and they are not really going to want to lose that spot. Um, and yeah, they've got too much sort of quality in there to not actually get into the next round, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely tighter than I think many realize. There's so many permutations here. I mean, Mo, what do you think? Where do you think this one goes?
Yeah, I agree with Sonny in this one. I think I'm not sure if Germany actually have a couple of goals in them because it might go down to goal difference, depending on the results. But I don't quite see Germany having a few goals in them to be able to scrape it off the line. Maybe if they play that striker off the bench as an actual number 9. But yeah, I think Germany will probably get second. Honestly, I think Germany probably will get second. But if it does go down to goal difference and they've got a win on that, I don't think they're going anywhere. Yeah, I think they'll be out.
Sam, you in agreement with the boys that Germany may just scrape it, but it's going to be a challenge, especially if it goes to goal difference?
Yeah, I think so. I think if Costa Rica didn't pick up that win, I think it would have been a very different story. And I can't see Costa Rica putting in a good performance against Germany. Albeit, Germany haven't been fantastic this tournament. In fact, they've been pretty poor. I would love for them to go out just for a bit of drama and a bit of controversy, and because it's one of the big names out of the hat. I think it will be a real shame if Japan miss out. But yeah, like the guys have said, I think it will be Germany that go through, and I think unfortunately Japan will narrowly miss out. But they are just as capable of picking up a good result and potentially. Actually, no. Looking at the goal difference now, Spain's goal difference are way superior than Germany. So if Japan win, then Germany are pretty much out. Am I right in saying? I don't know how good my maths are.
Quick look at.
They are.
Let's get a table up.
Spain are on 4 points. If Germany win, they go to 4 points, and Spain's goal difference is 7. Germany's
It all depends
-1.
on the goal difference. It really depends on the goal difference. As it stands right now, Japan are on 0, Germany on -1. So if Germany can win and pummel Costa Rica, then hold them hosed. But can they do that? That's the question.
Japan top the group, Spain second. You heard it here first. Bang.
Ooh.
Bang.
Oh, he's gone for it.
Because I like Spain, but I can also see Japan springing another surprise. I don't think that Spain are bulletproof. That's the only reason why I say that. And I feel like Germany will probably beat Costa Rica. So just for a bit of drama and clickbait, then I'm going to go for the Japan top.
Sam has the Honda writing off the Seat. Very interesting.
Big.
Group F is an interesting one as well. I had to bring up his car reference from last week. Group F is another interesting one as well. Croatia, top of that group right now on 4 points. Morocco in second on 4. Belgium there on 3. I mean, Zeke, what are you feeling there? Do you think Belgium can just pull that rabbit out of the hat and scrape it? Or do you think that Croatia will cut their final strings and send them into oblivion?
Yeah, I don't think Belgium are actually going to do it. I think that Croatia are a better team. And I feel like, Belgium's squad unity is not there and it isn't actually going to help them at all. So I would choose Croatia over them. Yeah.
Sam, you seeing Croatia saying bye-bye with Bobby Martinez shortly?
I feel like Belgium, I think they're gone. I think Croatia will be all right. I think Morocco will be all right. And again, I know we were singing Morocco's praises earlier. Good for them. Same for Croatia as well. I think it will be on paper an upset, or in the headlines, an upset that Belgium go out so soon. But I'm not massively surprised. But like I say, credit to the two teams. That's the way I think it's going to go.
So are you intending to agree there? Do you think that Croatia will seal the fate of the Belgians?
It'll be a cracker of a game, I think. I mean, I know Belgium haven't been the best this tournament, but they know if they don't win this game, they're out because Morocco are on 4 points? Belgium on 3. The second goal that Morocco got against Belgium has made things interesting now because it's potentially going to come down to goal difference. So let's say Canada win 1-0. Belgium have to basically get a point or win to go through. So, yeah, I agree with the boys. I think Belgium are done, and that's mad. What a way for the golden generation to end in such a dire way and slow death almost. It's quite sad, but yeah, I think Belgium, the Waffles just aren't hitting the same as they were a couple of years ago. So yeah, I think it's over.
What do you think, Mo? Do you think that they can save themselves, or do you think it's well and truly end of the line?
No, I don't think it's ended. I actually think the quite opposite. I think Croatia are going out of the group, even though they sit top right now. I think Morocco beats Canada head to head, and I actually do think Belgium go all out because look, Belgium's defense are old and they are slow, and teams with the fast attackers can easily exploit them. But Croatia don't have that many. I mean, they have quite a few wide players, but Belgium play with wing backs as well. So it'll take that away from Croatia. I think their styles match up so perfectly for Belgium that I don't see Croatia honestly beating them. I see Croatia going out. Yeah,
that's very,
only
very
for style,
bold
only
take.
style wise. Yeah, not class wise. I think Croatia's quite a bit a better team, but head to head they don't match up well.
That's a very interesting shout. I do like that. I do like that drama.
But then who wins
very
the midfield
interesting.
battle? Who wins the midfield battle between the two teams? Because I think
Exactly. Yeah.
That's where it's won and lost, isn't it? I feel this is where it's won and lost. Whoever wins that midfield battle will definitely probably win this tie.
100%.
But there's so much quality in both parts. I mean, I've saved the best one till last. I think this is the most competitive one, and I do think it is the Argentina group. There's 3 teams in here that are just all literally neck and neck. And the best part is that 1 and 2 playing against each other on that day in Argentina and Poland. Where do you think this one will swing? I'll come to you first, Zeke. I mean, just to give you a bit of context here, Poland sit top on 4. You got Argentina in second with 3, and Saudi Arabia in third on 3. Who do you fancy?
I think Argentina will scrape it, but then I feel like they'll then lose in the next round, which is quite a big thing, obviously.
Before it's a heartbreak, we like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not keen on the idea because obviously I do love Messi, but I don't think the whole squad has enough. But I think they will make it into the next round and they'll beat whoever it is that they are playing. I can't remember who you said they were playing.
Yeah, I mean, the sort of maybe stabbing stat here is, I think alongside Brazil, Poland are the only side not to have conceded a goal thus far. Whilst they definitely are lacking in sort of that kind of how to put it, that sort of presence in play. They're not the most exciting side to watch. They are a well-oiled unit and they know how to operate. And I think their last 5 games, I think they've only lost 1 or something like that in that period. They're on a good run coming into this tournament anyway. So stern defense. I mean, Sani, are you sweating a bit over there, or?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough game as well. Like Zeke said, I mean, it's Messi or bust, as it always is for Argentina. And sometimes when it doesn't really go Messi's way, it's very hard for Argentina to win. And I think that's the case. Their squad isn't as, like Zeke said at the start of the show, the squad isn't as good as people think. I don't know how they managed to win a Copper, but listen, we are where we are. They'll win the group, I think. I think they'll just about. They'll get. It will be like a scrappy 1-0 if they do win. But the sad thing for Argentina is if they don't win the group, they're going to probably be facing the French in the next round. And 2018 World Cup, they faced the French. They went out 4-3. If they played France again this tournament, I think the same result happens. I think the French win again. So realistically, they have to finish top of this group, which means they have to win. And then they'll face Denmark, which that won't be an easy game, but I'd rather be facing Denmark than the French. So do Argentina win? I hope so. Do I think they win? I think it's going to be a draw, and I think they're going to face the French.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that, because then you still got Mexico at the bottom of that group with a possible chance of sneaking in here because they're on a point. And of course they'll play Saudi Arabia now. It's open sort of season there, isn't it? Mexico, we know how quality, but they just haven't quite shown it yet. I mean, Sam, where do you think this group ends up? Who finishes where? Who goes home? Who goes through?
turning the group on its head, right? So Argentina, I think they'll do well against Poland because I don't massively rate Poland. I respect what they've done, and obviously you brought into question their recent form as well, which is impressive. But I just haven't thought that they've really clicked the way that they have done in the past, and especially with some of the big names. Well, I mean, the big name, Lewandowski, he doesn't see as much of the ball as I think he should. And if they create more chances, even just whipping it in the box and hoping for the best, sort of long football, I feel like they'd have a better chance. So I'm not massively impressed by them. So I think Argentina will actually relatively comfortably beat Poland. I don't think it'll be a thrashing. I think Mexico will beat Saudi Arabia, which means that Mexico are pushing for that second spot. And it all just depends on who wins by more on the day. Because obviously if Argentina win 2-0 and Mexico win 2-0, then I think they're level on goal difference. Oh, it's tricky. I'm going to go pure drama for the final game, and I'm going to go Argentina top, Mexico second. And unfortunately, somehow, Saudi Arabia finishing bottom when they've had a fantastic tournament and played really well. But I don't think they've quite got enough to see the tournament out. Sorry.
Heartbreak and heartbreak for Saudi Arabia.
Sad.
Mo, go on, seal the deal.
I've got Poland winning the group. I've got them beating Argentina when they face head to head. I think, like you said, Poland don't have any flair players. That was the word I think you were looking for. They don't really have a flair player when I look at the whole 11. But they actually do have a good squad, and they don't concede a lot as well. So playing against a team like Argentina, I think Poland beat them, and I think also Saudi beat Mexico head to head too. Yeah, so I see Poland top of the group, Saudi coming second. Yeah, Argentina going home and Mexico going home. South America.
He's gone back to back on the shot. You got to respect the Stones.
I love
it.
I'm seeing Saudi look good, man. Mexico, they look open. They look quite open as well.
Yeah.
So I think Saudi should be able to kind of get a 2-1 win maybe over them. Yeah.
My heart, man.
If he pulls off those two predictions, Mystic Mo could strike.
Yeah, clip that.
Clip that. You might need to give that title to him if he gets those two right.
We'll come back
I'll hand deliver it to you, my man. But I mean, that's one hell of a way to end the stream, guys, isn't it?
Yeah,
two big ballsy predictions from Mo there. But I mean, if they come off, woof, absolutely woof. But again, thank you for tuning in. We've had some wonderful comments, some strange comments. No money for Sam this time. But hey ho, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But look, we're all looking forward to Matchday 3. Plenty on the line. Any final thoughts from you guys?
Excited. It can go any way. I mean, that last group could literally go any way, and I think that just summarises the last game week. We don't know where it's going to go. At the end of the day, we're just talking a load of nonsense to whoever's listening, but it's going to be a beautiful spectacle to watch, and yeah, I personally can't wait.
Yeah.
If you have enjoyed this hour and a bit of five guys talking absolute nonsense on the internet, obviously subscribe to the boys, follow everybody on socials, and we will be back here bright and probably not early, but at least we'll be back. But again, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we shall catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Take care, guys.
Peace.